We're here with Mr. Denny Priser. Denny is the newest member into the Fairmont Athletic Hall of Fame. Denny was a basketball scoreboard operator, football statistician, and coach over a long time span here in the Kettering City Schools. Denny provided over 70 seasons of service to the athletic departments of Fairmont East, Fairmont West, and Kettering Fairmont. From 1972 to 96, he ran the scoreboard for the boys' basketball games. He did the same job for the girls' games from 1977 to 1996. And he was selected as the timer for the 1988 Divisions 1, 2, and 3 State Girls Basketball Tournament. He was the statistician for the football team from 1972 to 1988, and he was the league football statistician for the Western Ohio League from 1972 to 1983. As a coach, Denny was an assistant to Jim Zink in softball from 1981 to 1988, during which Fairmont East and Kettering Fairmont won a total of 4 league championships, 4 district championships, 2 regional championships, and the culminating event was the 1982 Division I state championship, which was the only state championship won by a girls' team in the history of Fairmont East. Denny's got that championship jacket on for you all to see tonight. He assisted Coach Jerry Neff in girls volleyball from 1982 to 1984, during which they were district champs in 1984. Denny was the head girls soccer coach at Kettering Fairmont from 1985 to 1995. He was the Dayton South Soccer Division I Coach of the Year in 1987 and 1995. And most impressively, he was the first recipient of the Ohio High School Athletic Association Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award as voted by his soccer coaching peers. Denny's voice is a little rough tonight, so we will limit ourselves to a few questions to get a little more background with Denny's athletic and support programs for the Kettering schools. Denny, I'm going to start off with the first question. Let's start with your auxiliary accomplishments. For 45 seasons, you ran the scoreboard for boys and girls basketball games. What was it that you loved about that job that you devoted 45 seasons to it? That's amazing.
I suppose that the thing that impressed me the most was the, shall we say, the skill of the boys and the involvement of the girls. But I think the thing that makes it exciting is, as a timer, you have got to know the rules of play. If at the end of the game, the team behind is most likely going to foul. So you don't watch the game, you watch the referees. So if there is a foul, the referee puts his hand up, you stop the clock. One of the best improvements made in the game of basketball, was 1/10 of a second.
That's right.
When that was added at the end of the first half and at the end of the game, that added incredible integrity to the timer. So I found that by being a timer, I could be a good sportsman. I could have favorites in that I would always like to see Fairmont win, boy or girl, but never, ever let my loyalty to them take away from the clock responsibilities. So,
just out of curiosity, was it another button you had to push in that final minute, or was it pre-programmed?
It was the 1/10 of a second?
Yes.
It was automatically on the scoreboard.
Okay.
Thank
Always wondered
goodness.
about that. What was it like to work the girls' state tournament in 1988?
exciting. It was at Ohio State St. John Arena. And to get that position, you had to be recommended by the Southwest District. So my name was nominated and I was invited up there. So I worked with 2 other timers. One timer did not work a game. A second timer worked with the primary timer. The primary timer did the game. But the second timer counted down, because we didn't have the 10th of a second, at the end of every quarter. So in the event there was a time, a shot taken within the last 10 seconds, I would count down the seconds. The timer would watch for referees stopping the clock. And then if there was a determination to be made as to whether or not a shot counted, they would come to him. So there was a lot of responsibilities in that, but it was a lot of fun.
Good. You had a lot of success working with Jim Zink in softball. Can you describe the experience of winning that state championship in 1982? Obviously, it means a lot to you. You've got the jacket on, Denny.
It was awesome. First off, Jim Zink was a phenomenal coach. He had a patience of Job. He never raised his voice. He didn't fuss with a mistake made by a player, by an assistant coach, me, or by an umpire. And so to go to the state tournament with Jim and the girls from Faribault East was a thrill of a lifetime. The girls earned it. We had a pitcher, Gene Nace, who was not a windmill pitcher, but a slingshot pitcher.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen a slingshot pitcher either before Gene Nace or since. She was phenomenal. We had talent everywhere. We had a chemistry that was just outstanding. Every girl on that team could play any position that we had or that we needed. So it was phenomenal, exciting. I can remember in the 6th inning of the 7-inning game, of the championship game, I smiled and looked at Jim and I said, let me be the first to congratulate you on winning the state championship. And you know what he said to me?
Game's not over?
No, he said, it's not supposed to end up like this.
Oh.
He meant that, to be the state championship game was phenomenal, but he didn't think we could win it. Why? Because the game before, we played Talmadge, who was the defending state championship. We won 1-0.
Ooh.
In the championship game, we won 7-3 or something. I mean, it really was a surprise that the game was as quick to get ahead as we did.
Right. You also assisted Jerry Neff in volleyball in his very successful girls volleyball program. What was it about Jim Zink and Jerry Neff that made them lead elite programs?
Well, as I mentioned, Jim is phenomenal in knowledge of softball. Jerry told me once that you don't have to coach a sport that you did not play in high school. You could learn to coach by watching it, studying it, and then go from there. So, when I was his assistant, I knew I couldn't jump to spike. I couldn't jump to block. I couldn't serve. So taking from Jerry's, his suggestion that you learn, I decided I'd let one of the players show how to do each of those things.
Okay.
And you know what? The team was impressed.
There you go.
I wasn't embarrassed.
It's a win-win, isn't it?
There you go.
That's win-win. Denny, you led the Firebirds girls soccer program for 11 seasons. Can you describe that experience for us?
Well, let me say it this way. Most of the girls knew more about the game than I did. The parents thought they did, that they knew more than I did, and maybe some did. But Jerry also said, if you get the head position, surround yourself with good assistant coaches. So that's what I tried to do, and that's what I found by having assistant coaches who knew the sport, knew the skills needed, and can make suggestions to me as to how we can make the team better, that's what I did.
As you reflect back on those 11 seasons, do any matches stand out more than others? I want to see if yours match the ones I think stood out the most.
Well, sure. There were two in particular. We played Northmont at Fairmont, and we played Northmont at Northmont back-to-back years. Both times they were state champions,
Yep.
and both times the score ended up 1-0 with the Firebirds winning.
Those were the two matches that I had, ironically enough.
And I want to tell you, I found out that ice and a bucket of water is very cold and breathtaking. I found out 2 years in a row.
Got dumped on you.
I did,
There
and the
you go.
girls were great.
Denny, what was your secret to motivating student athletes on the athletic field?
Well, I really found that sports was an extension of the classroom. And so in order to, since I, was supposedly the leader, like in soccer, the way I felt best was to encourage the kids. I took a lot from Jim Zink. If I didn't criticize them, but simply told them it was a good play, it was good effort, I felt that was the best way to get the girls motivated. We also tried to make sure that we played fair, clean, honest soccer. For example, we did not ever coach to tackle from behind.
Okay, slide tackle behind.
Yes. I didn't want to see anybody get hurt, leg injury, knee injury, either us or the opponent. We simply taught the girls or encouraged the girls, stay up and run, defend, do the best you can. If you get tired, let us know and we would substitute for you.
Denny, you were the recipient, I mentioned it in the bio, of the inaugural Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award by the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and that was voted by your peers. What did that mean to you?
May I show them?
Absolutely.
Well, to win this award was, again, a great honor. It meant that our program, that our girls played, as I just mentioned, with integrity, ethics. They knew the rules. They played with spirit, and they respected their opponent. I think this is one of the things that is very important to get across to students in the classroom and athletes in the field of competition. Respect your opponent. Don't ever put them down. Don't ever badmouth them. Just play your best, do your best. That'll show honor to you and to your school. And I think this is what this is showing, that the girls did exactly that. They brought honor to Fairmont girls soccer.
Great. Denny, you alluded to it earlier in our discussion tonight about good coaching is good teaching. I think it's important for those who will watch this video to know it has nothing to do with the Athletic Hall of Fame, but you also are a member of the Chester A. Roush Educational Hall of Fame. And I believe you're one of only 9 people ever to be in both Hall of Fames. And I think that's a credit to you and who Denny Priser is.
Well, it was an honor to be certainly selected to the Athletic Hall of Fame. It was a complete surprise to me. The Roush Hall of Fame, I think, just helps me understand that I was able to do what I wanted to do, which was teach. All I've ever wanted to do in my life was to be a good teacher. I had some great teachers at Van Buren Junior High School that inspired me, Catherine McAlonan and David Cutright, and they made teaching look honorable. And so I felt, and Marilyn, my wife, can tell you that when we met in college, this is what I wanted to do, and I felt honored that you would be willing to put up with a lifestyle of what teachers were
Yeah.
thought of in those days. So I was blessed.
Good. Well, Denny, again, congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure talking to you, and we're excited about the ceremony tomorrow with your actual
Looking forward.
induction, and congratulations on being a newest member of the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Bill.
Sure. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.